Hi folks, it's me, Jason Moore here with MTGOacademy.com, and I would like to welcome you to the latest installment of Dime a dozen. Red deck wins. Does it really win? Or is that just what the name says it does? We're going to find out today here in Classic Pauper. This is sort of the stepbrother, the little kid brother to Goblins in a way, because it plays a lot of the cards that Goblins plays, but takes a slightly different angle, a very streamlined, less synergy-based approach to trying to win the game. Now, I'm playing an extreme budget version. Never mind the sideboard. Aside from some of the stuff that's in the board, I'm not playing Fire Blast in this deck, which usually gets played as a 2-of. And most of this is a net deck in terms of the main deck. Except for that, I decided to just run extra Chain Lightning. So I don't have Fire Blast right now, and wanted to get this into action and testing quickly. And we'll see if Fire Blast would have made a huge difference or not. Really hard to say just looking at this list, but the games hopefully will help us figure that out. So let's get started. Only 19 lands. You want a low land count, a high threat count. 18 mountains, very clean mana base there, but we do have the one Teetering Peaks, which acts like a little bit of a spell. Now, I'm not in love with just playing tapped lands in a deck this aggressive. But because we're basically net decking almost 90 or almost 100% of the main deck, we're doing this as well. So what does this deck really got going for it? It has a ton of consistency in terms of having redundant copies of very similar threats. So if you look at the 1-drops, we've got the Mog Conscripts and Goblin Cohort, which are effectively the same card. And then we also have Jackal Familiar. So we've got 12 2/2 creatures for 1 mana. And we're backing that up with 12 or really 16 hasty 2-mana creatures in Mud Brawler Cohort. As long as we have another red creature, it's a 2/2 haste. Valley Dasher is a 2/2 haste that cannot block and has to attack even if the opponent's board is superior to ours. Shred Freak is a 2/1 haste, and then Goblin Bushwhacker is a 2/1 haste that gives everyone else +1, +0, and haste. So there's a lot of redundancy there in terms of just getting creatures onto the board and getting them swinging very fast, and they make the Jackal Familiar able to attack a lot more often because you play Jackal Familiar turn 1, turn 2, you have another attacking creature, so this guy can get in there. It also, because we have so many hasty guys and so many creatures in general, it means that the cohorts and the conscripts can attack a pretty high number, a pretty high amount of the time. Pretty large amount of the time. I don't know how to phrase that properly. Who knows how to speak proper English anymore in this day and age? So, supplementing that, Goblin Heel Cutter is going to be able to get us through a big blocker on the other side. And then Inner Flame Acolyte has a couple uses. It can either attack on its own as a 4/2 haste creature for 3, or we can evoke it and use it sort of like a pump spell. It gives a creature haste, so it's kind of like a reckless charge in that sense. And then our burn spells are just 4 bolts and 4 Chain Lightning. So I think usually it's 2 Chain Lightning and 2 Fire Blast, but we're being cheapskates today. And that's all I got to say about that. The sideboard is not the best sideboard ever. In fact, our current board is a little more diverse than I've been seeing even from the ones online. We're playing Pyroblast, which I don't see from a lot of the online decks. That just, to me, this is a no-brainer to play this. I'm also playing Martyr of Ashes over something like Electrickery. And the reason for that is basically because we're going to be playing in the two-mans, and it's my experience that Hexproof is a pretty popular deck to play in the two-mans. You know, it's real fast. You get to go grind out matches really quickly, and you get to, you know, run over people's brews with your giant ancestral masks. So Martyr of Ashes is just a little better, in my opinion, against them because it can deal more damage than one. So if they have enchantments on their guy, we can still kill their guys regardless. 3 Flame Slash, which I believe is in the net decks in some number. I'm not sure specifically what you want this for. The only thing I could think was Nivix Cyclops. You know, there is Mirror Enforcer, but we do have Smash to Smithereens for that. I guess this also gets Carapace Forger, so that's something. And then Smash to Smithereens for basically affinity, and you know, Tron decks tend to play like Prophetic Prisms and stuff, so that can be something you might want to blow up. It really depends if you have enough cards that are bad in the matchup. I wouldn't make this something that you just 100% go for against Tron. It's really only if your early Chain Lightnings and Bolts don't have targets. But since they play Seagate Oracle most of the time, that can be a factor. However, who knows? There could be something crazy like Mono Green Tron. You just never know these days. And also for Tron and Karoo lands, there's Molten Rain for all your land destroying needs. Well, those are all the cards. So now it's time to play. Whoa, hello everybody. We are playing in the Pauper 2-man queues, and we're on the draw, and I'm not sure if I want to keep this hand. So we have 3 things we can do, and then if we find another mountain, we have 2 more things we can do. So to make this hand really work, we need to either draw a land or more 1-drops. We are on the draw, so we get an extra look at the top of our library. I think I'm going to keep it and see how this goes. This is right there on the edge. It looks like we're playing against Hexproof, which if they have Armadillo Cloak, if they draw one early, which they tend to do, we just basically have no chance of winning. So, Hexproof is the number 1 reason I have... Oh, it's Slivers. Okay, so this will be a little bit more interesting. And I could get aggressive and attack into this, though I'm not sure. We have to really decide here what we're gonna try and do with this hand, because he could play a Lord, and then we would have the option of bolting the Lord if we don't get aggressive, and then our guy trades with the flanking guy, and we get to work that way. However, we could just try and race. If we go with the racing option, and he does, pardon me, I brushed the mic, and he does have a Lord, then we're going to be hard pressed to ever stop his board from getting out of control. However, we have so much haste in our hand that if we just find that land, we might be situated to be very aggressive. This flanking sliver here is going to make it very unprofitable for us to ever block anything. Because I'm low on lands, and I know I'm taking a long time to decide this, because I'm low on lands, I have a huge threat density, but I also could potentially get run over by not drawing enough lands. We're on the draw here. We just have the bolt. That's the only thing really keeping things together, or really keeping him back. So we can't control how many lords he has and plays in sequence. We can control whether or not we want to try and just attack him and be aggressive. So let's say he plays a Lord next turn and attacks me for 4. I take 2 poison, and he has a 2/2 in play. Then I attack him back for 4. He drops from 19 to 13, ostensibly. It's real tricky. Because we are an aggressive deck, I think I am going to, and because, again, we have so many spells, I think I am going to gamble and be aggressive. I honestly can't figure out which is the better course of action, but certainly when in doubt, sitting back and trying to anticipate what he's going to do and use a bolt to stop that, our one contingency, is probably not the best. So he's going to find a Lord here and play it and attack us for 4/2 poison. Yep. Then we attack again for 4, and then we really have no blocks at that point. It puts us kind of all in, so we may have to reassess afterwards. So I'll just take the damage there. We now have 2 bolts, so if he plays another Lord, sitting back with bolts is really awful, because we still don't have... we might be able to weather his storm, though, because look at... Sorry, I scratched the mic again. Look at how many cards he has and how many cards we have. So there is a chance we can get through this. If he has another Lord, we can also bolt the flanking sliver and then double block. So I think I just pass. He may also have Vines of Vastwood, which could be a problem, but it looks like he might be a little flooded here. So he's got another Lord. So what I'm going to try and do is kill the flanking sliver and double block the muscle sliver. So he could have Vines, and that, if he does, we're just basically dead. But it looks like he doesn't, so I'm going to double block the muscle sliver. And I think we might be able to stabilize. We are going to need a land also. We took 1 poison. He has 2 cards left. And we just have bolts on top of bolts. So I think we can hold back again, because we're now drawing bolts. So as you saw, we committed to an aggressive plan on turn 2, but based on our draws and based on our opponent's position, we've now switched gears to trying to be defensive. Here's a Journey to Nowhere. Okay. Well, that's definitely going to resolve. And if he just attacks now, I'll try and kill the muscle sliver. The poison's not as dangerous to us. You know, taking damage when we're at 13 is a little bit more dangerous. Well, it's about even. I mean, okay. So he really just has the one guy. This Jackal Familiar cannot block. He has 2 cards, so they're either journeys or lands, basically, if he hasn't used them. Or he's got another color. Okay, so I can block. Now he's got the journey. Okay, so I think whether I hit a land or not, I think I'm gonna have to bolt that sliver and maybe just play the Jackal Familiar. So we're equal life and poison. Yeah, I think I have to bolt the sliver and play Jackal Familiar here. And then after that, we'll see. I mean, Slivers really beats you by having that momentum swing of just hitting so many Lords that you can't ever deal with their board. Okay, has reach. My guy can't block, and he knows it. So now we have to decide whether or not we want to be aggressive or defensive, and we're just in a position where I think it's a little bit too risky to be aggressive. So now we have to decide, do I play Shred Freak or Cohort? And Shred Freak, if he kills the if he has a removal spell, he's going to kill the creature that isn't this, which will make it unable to block. So I guess I'll play the Cohort, which can maybe hold back the virulent Sliver if he doesn't have a Lord. If he does have a Lord, we can maybe double block. Okay. So now I have an option of starting to attack with some of my haste guys while he's sitting back. Chain Lightning's also pretty good here. Like, for instance, if I take out the, well, these guys each have poisonous 1. So if 2 creatures hit me, I lose. So I may have to just kill one of those. And I could send in Shred Freak at that point. Which I think I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of, well, do I even want to get rid of anybody? Because the Lord is more dangerous than these guys are. But they're only 2/2s. I think I actually want to save the Chain Lightning. I think I get in with the Shred Freak and I save the Chain Lightning. I could also attack with the Cohort, and then his only block is with the Spinneret Sliver. But I kind of want the Virulent Sliver to die, so I'm willing to make that trade. And we're obviously telegraphing a bunch of stuff just in real time to the opponent. He's going to take it. That's probably actually his best play. So he's just motioning to attack here. Now that's really freaking weird. That attack is terrifying because he's attacking 1/1s into 2/2s. He could have Fortify, which only trades. I don't know what this could be, but I think I have to attack with 2 of them. And we know that he's going to attach 2 poison to us. Oh man, this is a blowout. This is really bad for us. And we take 2 poison. Holy hell. Alright, so now I have to kill one of these slivers. And I think I have to play Shred Freak. Because another, well, he might have another one of these. Because if I play Familiar, there's a chance that he can kill one of my guys, and then I have no blocks, and I take 2 poison. So, this has gotten really awkward. It's really dicey. This matchup is, I mean, look at it. It's just so back and forth, so by the skin of your teeth. And he found something right off the top. Flanking. Oh my god. So I can only block 1 here. They're going to die regardless of the flanking guy. Yeah, so these last 2 turns have really, I mean, this blew us out and this blew us out. Right when we're saving the Chain Lightning. Yeah, this is awful. So now, I'm now at 9 poison. I think I might lose here. He has to basically draw nothing because I have to block every single creature. So he has to basically draw nothing so that I can actually make some blocks. Otherwise we're going to lose via poison. And he drew something. So I'm not going to give up yet. We'll just see what he does. Yeah, he figured it out. Well, I'll have to look at what I did wrong there. But I tried, guys. And that's going to be game 1. We're taking 1 poison from one of these guys. We can only block with 2 creatures, so that's it. Yeah. Okay, so sideboarding. This never left our hand. This is an incredibly expensive creature for this matchup, and basically we never got a chance to deploy it. It's only aggressively sound. A 2 toughness creature for 4 mana on the defense is not really appealing. So that frees up 3 slots. I imagine we could cut some number of haste guys, and that's just the... Well, Valley Dasher has no defensive potential. So I think we want to cut him, but we don't have enough to bring in. We basically have these martyrs, and we have flame slashes. So we'll have to bring in one of the two. I'm fine, I guess, playing one of these since we are on the play. I mean, we do have to factor in being on the play or the draw. So, for instance, Martyr of Ashes doesn't work so great on the play. It's a little better on the draw because we might be, flooding the board with aggression early and then draw a couple Martyrs, and what do you do with that? But I'm still going to do it like this, whether we're on the play or the draw. If we're on the draw for game 3, which, I mean, that's what we will be, we are going to play first. I don't think we decide to draw at all. And we're going to keep this as well, even though we're missing lands. This is at least an aggressive start that we can do something with. Plus, we have the interaction of the Bolt. I may take out the Valley Dasher on the draw, because even though the Heel Cutter is more expensive, the Heel Cutter can at least block. But I might be wrong about that. We'll see. Okay, so this hand could get really good if we draw a land. So we obviously ordered the 1-drops in this fashion so that we can make our attack here, and that next turn we can either play this naked or draw a land and do some damage, because he's really just going to have a 2-drop here, or 2 1-drops, I guess he could have, and they both flank. So there's really not a lot of value to us defending, and we drew another 1-drop, so I think we're just going to attack. Now this is going to get really awkward, but it's awkward for him as well. So let's see if he wants to double block. Nope, he's going to take damage. So we're basically in an all-out race position, but we have a little bit more leverage because anytime we draw a land, we can sweep the entire board and restart the game. Okay, he has Sunlance. These creatures are better on the offensive, not so good on the defensive. And looks like he's just going to get in for 4. But we have the... Okay, so I could play this and attack for 6. I could evoke this, rather. Or I can play the Bushwhacker. Bushwhacker can work as a blocker if I want to. I mean, we're not getting up to 3 mana for this. This might have been one of the creatures I wanted to cut. We could also sit back, but he has these flanking guys, so we're basically never going to get to defend. We're also probably not getting to 3 mana here. So I think I'll attack for 6. With the hopes, again, of hitting a land. And being able to deploy the rest of my hand here. He's got 4 cards. We have 5, and we have more life to work with. That's a big function of these games too, is that he's been hitting more land drops than we have. Okay, he's got a Journey. So now we're not going to be able to attack next turn. Well, if we draw a land, we can. So let's see what happens. And this is really bad for us. We're going to 7 now. And his guys are 3/3s. Ooh. So I think I just have to leave up Lightning Bolt. Or maybe I bolt first. No, basically if he has anything, we lose here. Regardless of where we cast it, on our turn or on his turn. If he has any pump or another Lord, we basically lose. But we go to 1, so what am I actually playing towards? Drawing a land? And him never drawing anything? I could just play Bushwhacker, but then I have to chump block 2 creatures. So I think we just have to pass and hope Lightning Bolt does it. Ooh, that's not good. Could he whiff? No. Alright, so we lost this match. It was pretty brutal. And, yeah, that's going to basically be it. And I didn't even cast the bolt in time. Not that it matters. I mean, I should have cast the bolt in response. Apparently I'm not very good at playing against slivers. You may have noticed this from last time, but that's game. So we could have bolted anyway, but had he attacked with everybody... Oh, you know what? We weren't actually dead there, I don't think. Because we could have bolted one in response, blocked the other one, we would have gone to 1. But there was no way we were getting out of it from there. However, I still played horribly in that last turn. So I really need to, like, I don't know, use my brain maybe. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Okay, let's try this again. Didn't do so hot in the first round. So hopefully things will turn out a little better. Looks like we're going to be on the draw again. And this hand is a lot stronger than the ones we've seen in the past. So I am going to keep, and we'll see what the opponent is working with. Opponent kept 7 cards, and we see a Plains, which is not my favorite thing to see. You know, mono red decks have typically struggled against mono white decks, if that's what he is. Looks like he's some sort of white-black, so it could be Mimics, could be some kind of Mardu deck. It could be, I don't really know what else, but the best use of our mana this turn is really just to play the Valley Dasher and get in for 4. And we have so much removal in hand that we're going to be able to get blockers out of the way so that this Valley Dasher just isn't just suiciding in. And I think in general, I mean, this card has such limited application that the earlier you can play it against certain people, not against everybody, probably the better, because their board is just going to be so much less flooded with guys. So we can manufacture this so that we chain lightning, get in for damage. So this looks like some sort of mono black control deck that's going to be splashing white. For what? I don't exactly know at the moment. But I am going to use the chain lightning. It has the least amount of versatility. To get this guy out of the way, obviously we want to be making an attack where we're not losing our board. And then we need to cast this pre-combat so that our cohort can attack as well. And then we have Bolt on his end step if we want to hit a creature. Kind of depends. I mean, obviously we get the attack with these two guys no matter what we draw. But we need to also keep his devotion down here. It looks like if it's a Chittering Rats... You know, you're never happy to see Chittering Rats. Okay, this is actually good because it kills his life total a little more. It's much better than seeing a Chittering Rats. I think I am going to go for the Bolt. He's got open mana. I don't know exactly what that could be. But I think we want to maximize our mana here. And that's a pretty solid draw. So now we're going to get an attack no matter what we do. And against a deck that is likely holding Chittering Rats in its 60, we're going to want to play that mountain out. So what is this? Some kind of tap. Repel the darkness. I think there's a card. Tap 2 creatures, draw a card. That would be a deep cut. Unmake? It's unmake. Gotta be unmake, huh? What do you guys think? Repel the darkness is such an obscure card, I highly doubt that's what it's going to be. Yeah, okay. Fine. Still get you down to 6. So another creature is going to be pretty good. However, he may just end up drawing land, Great Merchant, go up to 8. So we would need a creature basically with haste and then the Bolt to finish him off. So we have a lot of creatures with haste, so... But we're not seeing 5 mana here. We're seeing 4 mana. Core Skyfisher. Okay. So we'll see what that ends up doing. And we don't have any 4 mana plays other than hard casting. Okay, so I am actually going to cast this Bolt, and I'm going to use it on the Skyfisher. We'd also throw it at his face, but... we're more likely to draw a creature than we are to draw another burn spell. We have essentially 5 burn spells left in our deck when we have like 26 creatures left in our deck. So we're going to let that hit, and now we're going to bolt the Skyfisher instead of his face. I guess a haste creature would also kill, but any creature here would be nice. We don't have one, so we'll just attack, and we'll see if he blocks. He's probably going to block. And I think that made the difference. I think that made it so that we were going to lose, that we will lose, rather. I had to use the bolt there. It was just a question of should I hit him in the face or should I hit his creature? And I'm not really sure what would have been better, but now we're kind of in a bad spot. Because he's got so much left to do, and we have so little. So maybe putting him to 3 would have been better there. Oh, God. So I'm not attacking. Unless I want to push for an extra 2 damage. I guess now we're playing for Goblin Bushwhacker. So this attack basically cost me 2 creatures for 2 damage. That doesn't seem like a great play, especially because we're super budget and we're not playing Fire Blast. So I think I just have to play this guy and pass. There's a couple things we could have. We could draw Heel Cutter. We could draw oh shoot, he has Gary. Alright, so we're not winning this game. Man. I mean, there's a chance we're winning this game. It's just not a good chance. For him to go up to 11 is real rough, especially when we're playing off the top. We have no way of drawing extra cards. We were really close to winning, and he definitely just pulled out. We drew 1 too many lands there. I think we just have to keep doubling down and playing more creatures to try and get our board position going. And maybe it's the case that I shouldn't be playing them yet. I should be waiting. But more Chittering Rats will completely end the game. Alright, this is over. Yeah, there's no way we're coming back from this. Yeah, this is completely over. Yeah, I'm just going to concede here. We could stay in it, but there's really just nothing. We lost our window, and now the window's closed, and now we can't win. So, I actually don't think I want to change anything. I mean, we could play Flame Slash, but we really just have to be the fastest, meanest deck we can possibly be. Molten Rain on the play actually is okay, because he has those Orzhov Basilicas, but I think these cards are actually better at punching through like his early guys. I think we actually just leave it like this. If we were going to bring in Molten Rain, it would be now, on the play. But these guys actually help us a little more than Molten Rain does. So I think I'm going to submit like this. And we don't want to add more 3-drops and cut a lower number, so... yeah, I'm not too high on this deck right now. So had I gone with the bolt to the face, he would have been at 3. I guess that gave me the out of a haste guy or a burn spell. So maybe it was better. We'll play first. And we don't have a play on turn 1 unless we want to just Chain Lightning his face, but I don't think we do. We're still going to keep. I mean, we have a pretty strong start. He's actually gone to 6. And let's see what he did with the card. He put it on the bottom. I still don't think I want to Chain Lightning his face. I think the Chain Lightning is going to be better served at getting a blocker out of the way. And hopefully we'll be able to draw a land to do that and play a creature, but we'll see. He's a ways away from playing a creature ostensibly, so I'm going to lead with the Valley Dasher, and there's the land, so... And that's because, again, this guy has the most narrow utility ever, and if a creature's going to get removed, we'll want it to be him, and also we want him to be able to get in for damage before any creature comes in. So if he doesn't play Disfigure, yeah, he's really behind here. I'm going to go ahead and just shred him. The Bushwhacker gets better the longer we wait, and it seems like we're going to have a chance to wait here. So, and should I Chain Lightning him here to max my mana? I don't think so, because there's a chance he has multiple creatures to get in our way. If I Chain Lightning, he's at 12. He plays a creature. We bolt the creature, and Bushwhack, that's drops him to 4. He plays another creature, and we Bushwhack again. I think we'll just hold it. I think we're probably better served to leave up our options. I'm really not sure how to use the burn in conjunction with what's going on. So, okay, so I think we'll go ahead and bolt this in case we draw a 1-drop creature, because that would be a huge play for us. So we'll go ahead and bolt it. So here our mana is just working really well. Dasher drops him to 8. Bushwhacker drops him to 6. I think I'll Bushwhack to drop him to 6. And then another burn spell kills. Or if we draw a land, we can Dasher and Bushwhack again next turn. So that possibly kills around... He's not even near a Great Merchant yet. He's only got 3 mana. He missed a land drop. Or he didn't miss a land drop because he does have Barrens. So he's going to end up going up to 9 here. Or to 7 here. Off of the Barrens. But after that, I think there's not a lot he can have at this point. He's got Barrens up to 7 and like a 3-drop. That's not going to be enough. He could have 2 removal spells. We also have the Chain Lightning, so it's just really unlikely. So what do we deploy here? The Bushwhacker is 4, is 10 damage. It's probably what we go with, because it just adds so much damage over the top. Even if he has a couple removal spells, I think we can still kill. We can still kill with this Chain Lightning. Yeah, so what is this? Could be Echoing also. But he's still dead, so it doesn't really matter. So Echoing was something we weren't completely sure about, but we probably should have thought about. Fortunately for us, he's at -2, and we win. So we're going to be on the draw, and I don't think much changes here. I think we just have to try and run him over. And we're already basically set as well as we can be to run him over. So, we don't want to cut this for the Molten Rain because this can be used for 1 mana. And then, again, this just works way better against everything he does, basically. All his blockers. So he's going to play first, and we're going to keep this hand. This hand's pretty solid. So he was just really screwed up. I mean, he had tapped land into Orzhov Basilica, and that's just, it's just such a slow start in Pauper. I think people really lean on the utility of Karoo lands way too much. So what's better here? I think actually Cohort and into Peaks is better than playing a guy, because it sets up our mana. If we draw another 1 mana play, we're better set up. It does 4 damage now, just like a haste guy would. And it's the least likely thing to get wrecked. I mean, a Disfigure could wreck it, but we're still not that upset. So he's going to Disfigure it. Or not, or just take 4. So this is good here. He might go with a... Okay, he looks like he might have Echoing here. So I think our best play is to go Valley Dasher first before we show him anything else. I will play around Mana Tithe though. We also want to be a little concerned about Evan Carr's Justice coming up. I don't think we play around it. He would need untapped land and specifically Evan Carr's Justice. Shred Freak is the weakest attacker. But Valley Dasher, has to attack into stuff. So I think we probably use it now. It's really hard to say. I don't think it actually matters all that much. I'm going to play the Shred Freak. He has the weakest toughness, so if somebody's going to get killed, I guess we'll make it him. And I don't think we hold back on the Jackal Familiar. Yeah, it's better against removal spells. We're really glad he's using the Echoing. It's better against spot removal. It's only worse against Evan Carr's Justice specifically. We have Heel Cutter that can do 9 and get through a blocker, and then if he plays one more guy, okay, this is kind of okay. So we're gonna do 9. He's at 6. Even if he plays another guy, at that point I think he's dead because one of the block. Yeah, so we're setting him up to die here. Basically. Because even another creature won't get through. He's just a little bit short of doing anything else. So, very straightforward. I mean, this deck is... Yeah, we got him. Okay, so we won a match. I'm very happy that happened. Yeah, our deck lined up fairly well against his double mana. I mean, the white wasn't really getting him a ton. We saw Core Skyfisher. He could have had a bunch of sideboard stuff that could have wrecked us, but just didn't draw it, I suppose. Game 2 was the biggest blowout. Game 1 was extremely close, but he turned the corner and immediately started just wrecking us with Grey Merchant. So, thank you guys for watching, and we will be back. Hey, we are back at it like a crack addict, and we're on the draw, but I don't think we can keep this hand. It's just, there's too many lands, too few threats, and we don't get on the board till turn 3. We'll probably get on the board sooner, but this hand has just got the makings of just really falling flat. We need more weaponry, so we're going to mulligan. And now we're in a really crappy position because we probably have to mulligan again. We're on the draw. I mean, it's possible to have an aggressive enough 5 that we can, and have the right number of the correct sort of draws that we can still win this game. So we'll mulligan to 5. And I'm going to keep this because it's going to be better than going to 4. And we'll keep this threat, I guess. This is really bad for us. I mean, his deck has to be incredibly slow for us to have any chance. It is an Urza deck. I think I'm just going to Chain Lightning him. Because we need every second to stop this, and he didn't play like a star or anything, so we might have a chance to get faster, but I think he's just going to crush the ever-loving snot out of us. Okay, so we've got some things here that I like, but it's still not looking too great, particularly if he can make a Fangren Marauder next turn with the power plant, or with the tower. So we'll see. Now if we draw a 1-drop creature, and he doesn't have a creature this turn, no, we're screwed. Well, he's playing Self-Assembler. Ugh. That is just a... So this is the first time I've seen this card in action. I'll probably be playing with it very soon, but today we are on the wrong end of the assembly worker chain here. Playing Bushwhacker really sucks. I want that one drop. Ugh. Well, I can kill the self-assembler, but it just puts us in a horrible position. I think I have to do that. I mean, I can't get through all of them. What else can I do? I think I just have to suicide my Valley Dasher into this. Man, I really don't know. I mean, we have to get him down to some number of... We have to get his life total down. Yeah, I don't think we can win this game, but we're going to do whatever we can. And I think what we have to do now is probably... I don't know if I just start burning him. I think I have to kill that self-assembler. This will drop him to 10, but I don't think that's good enough. So I'm going to kill it. We can bring in Smash to Smithereens against that, or Flame Slash, but not both. That's too much. We also want to bring in Molten Rain on the play at the very least. He had turn 3 Tron, which is just not something we're looking to be. Yeah, we're dead. I kind of want to see more of his deck, though. So we're going to keep playing, but there's no way we're winning. I mean, there's just absolutely no way. It seems like he might be mono green. I just want to get more information. I'm not sure what we're working with here. Kind of looks like mono green. This might be a Fierce Empath. No, it's just nothing. I'm just going to play my land. I just need more info. I mean, there's no really reason to play the Bushwhacker when he's at 23. Just show me something. I need to see what I'm up against. So we know about Self-Assembler. So he's going to get another one and then cast another one. I just want to know, are you mono green? Are you just red green? Are you just blue green? Are you rug? Are you 5 color? Are you Bant? Are you... He has prisms and stars. He's probably rug. And there's no reason not to attack me there. But he's not showing us anything. I mean, if you have this much fixing, you're probably rug, but you could also be just trying to power up this guy. Well, this is basically a 2-shot finisher. Yep. Alright, I'm just going to concede after this. Okay, yeah, there's... I mean, I could play 2 blockers, but I'd rather not even show him the Bushwhackers. He is playing some expensive stuff. I mean, this stuff is expensive to cast, but... So I don't think we want Chain Lightning. It's just very limited in its application. We may not even want Lightning Bolt. But I don't think we're cutting all that stuff. This kind of floods us with 3s, which is not amazing. Maybe we'll just play 1 Smash, and then we'll play 4 Bolts. Actually, I think Smash will be turned on faster than Bolt will. So, and I'm not sure if he's playing blue, so bringing in Pyroblast would be really bad. I think this is what we want. We have too many 3s, kind of, but we still have all of our early threats too, so We definitely want to play first, and fortunately for us, we don't. This hand's really fast, so it's going to be hard for him to keep up. He needs really good interaction. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Boom. So with so much haste in the deck, the Jackal Familiar ends up not being terrible. Okay. So it's almost irrelevant which one I play here. I suppose I'll just go dashing through the snow. Yeah, I really don't think it matters. These guys are all interchangeable to me. I really can't even figure out like which one I should play. I'll play the Dasher again because I think it gets worse later. If he has Self-Assembler, I mean, I want this guy to already be dead and have dealt 4 damage, 8 damage before we get to that board state. So these guys can sit back. I can try and build up to a Bushwhacker or a Smash the Smithereens or something, or a Heel Cutter, where this guy's just going to have to suicide in. So we want him on the board before other creatures are on the board. I think that's the logic we want. Looks like he's mono green. We'll see if he has like Feed the Clan or any type of early defense. He doesn't really have much here. I think I'm going to shred him. I mean, Cohort's good too. I just don't even know. I mean, I guess Shred Freak is worse to Electrickery. It's really hard to say. And I see no reason not to bring the Familiar. He could have like Tangle. That would be bad for us. Or Moment's Peace. Yeah, he's got something. He's got Moment's Peace. Okay. Well, we still need to flood the board. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Just make the pressure so difficult to deal with. And next turn would be the best time to draw Molten Rain. We almost have to draw it. Oh, jeez. Well, we're kind of, on the board enough we might be able to fight through some of this nonsense. He's getting ready to Fangren Marauder, so we really want the rain. We really want the rain next turn. Otherwise, we're just going to get struck down. I mean, just brutally mauled and overmatched. I mean, there's a chance we can even fight through that, but I mean, honestly, just need that Molten Rain. Gotta have it. If it's Smash the Smithereens, we'll also use it, but don't have it. And he gets to just Moment's Peace here, which is kind of ridiculous. I'll just play these guys because there's a chance he forgets to use it or he has to map, but I mean, we're basically screwed here. We're not screwed because, I mean, one Ulamog's Crusher doesn't necessarily beat us. If he has more Molten Rains, or if he has Fangren Marauder, then he probably beats us, but Moment's Peace did a lot for him there, bought him so much time. But he also just so quickly assembled Tron in both of these games that I'm not too upset. It does suck that we're just getting hosed. I mean, we're getting so destroyed. So he actually nets 1 mana if he gets a tower here. But he might also be wondering if he should play Fangren Marauder. Because this board is actually pretty good against an Ulamog's Crusher. Particularly if we find a Heel Cutter. There's also a chance of us finding that Molten Rain still. Looks like he's going to go Fangren Marauder. No, Stirrings. Okay. So Self-Assembler is a good draw. Yeah, that's what he found. So he's mono green. Actually, pretty solid build of this. He may need more early interaction, but the Moment's Peace is really strong against our deck. Really strong. Okay, so we're still suiciding through this, and that might be good enough, particularly if we find a Molten Rain. Or Smash Smithereens. Smash Smithereens is almost lethal. Actually, it is lethal. No, this is 12 damage, so it's short one. Oh, is he making a Marauder now? See, I don't know that we can beat a Marauder. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's going to assemble the legions. So, cool. We're 100% suiciding through this. Yeah, so I would love a Molten Rain off the top. That's not a Molten Rain, doesn't matter, we're still going to attack. So he goes to 6 here, I believe. And then it's anybody's guess what's going to happen after that. And what do you even kill? I don't know. Okay, kill an X1. We might just be able to win, but he has a lot of draws that could keep us from winning. I'm not going to even say what they are because I'm really hoping he doesn't find an answer. So he needs either 2 blockers, or he needs to gain some life. Oh, he can play 2 blockers. Okay, we could still win. We still have a number of draws that could be a win. Something that turns this on, for instance. He's just going to double up on this. Okay. So we might still get there. We need a creature, or we need a burn spell, or we need... I guess that's all those are the only things that we could have. Alright, so moment of truth. Oh, he's going to attack? So he just sends himself to death. What? Wait, what? Oh, he has Moment's Peace. Jesus. And 4, 8, 12. Okay, so that only drops us to 4. Moment's Peace. We can't beat Moment's Peace. We would have needed 2 burn spells there. So he clearly had the Moment's Peace because that attack is the only reason that makes any sense. And this deck cannot beat Moment's Peace. So that's a huge problem. Yeah. It's not just that. I mean, this guy had turn 3 Tron both games. Very few decks can regularly, brush off turn 3 Tron in both games. So I'm not so mad. I think, in these particular games with what our deck has, we did what we could. I'm not really in love with what this deck has necessarily, but what are you going to do? Yeah, this is ugly. Ugly. And we're not exactly dead, but for instance, if I smash the Smithereens as Prophetic Prism, never mind. So I think I just hold that because I'm at 4. Alright, we're going to hold back. Oh, these guys have to attack? Ugh, well that's depressing. He's just going to waste the Moment's Peace? Does that mean he has more? Sure. So they're at least alive. I have to make certain blocks so that I don't outright lose. Ugh. Well, we'll see. I mean, we can do some things here. That's a nice finish. And we're done here. So, our all 2/2 deck getting crushed by an all 4/4 deck. That seems natural. And that's all she wrote. Getting finished by a crop rotation for Sajiri Step. That is pretty novel. That is that's a heck of a way to go out. So we have not been doing so hot in these Pauper 2-mans. I may have to spike it up a little more and just play the absolute best possible decks I can if we want to start, getting on the positive side of these ticket or these play point exchanges. This deck, it has the capability to steamroll people. One thing I have noticed also in my practice matches is you do require opponents to stumble some number of the time for you to actually get those high number of wins, which can happen. You can definitely capitalize on that, but the best draws that this deck has does not necessarily beat some of the best draws that a lot of other decks have. I mean, we saw Tron. Imagine Affinity having an explosive draw. It's going to be real hard to get around that. And some other decks can interact with us a little better. We have very limited utility with a lot of these cards, like Valley Dasher. Goblin Heel Cutter is either a 3-2 for 4 that just trades with everything, or it's merely an offensive weapon that you have to invest 3 mana into every turn. So I'm not saying it's a bad card, but in this shell, it's very limited utility. This guy's, very limited utility. This guy can be turned off. This guy can be turned off from attacking. So a lot of our cards, as aggressive as they are, do have weak points. And against other decks and other strategies that are a little more fluid, a little more capable of eking out little bits of usefulness, we could struggle. I'm not saying this is a bad deck. In my experience so far, very limited experience, I've been seeing some holes in the game plan. With that being said, I'd like to thank you very much for tuning into this installment of Dive. Oh, dozer.